Life has become good, life has become more cheerful. So much so that the European inhabitants of their wonderful garden are no longer in a hurry to reproduce. Apparently, so their descendants won't have to experience the full charm of such a life. How else to explain that last year the EU recorded a record low birth rate? And this isn't Belarusian propaganda speaking, but the serious foreign agency Eurostat. According to the UN, the lowest birth rates were observed in Italy, Spain, Greece, Lithuania, Latvia. Of course, how could we forget the Baltics? Our neighbors always lead in negative ratings, especially when people are simply afraid to have children.
I suppose people are now more focused on careers rather than starting families. It's hard to survive now, you need to earn a lot. Personally, I think you should first improve your financial situation before thinking about family life.
Latvians prefer to establish themselves outside their homeland. In 33 years of independence, the Republic has lost almost 1 million people and continues to lose more. If in 1990 the population was 2.7 million, by 2024 it's only 1.8 million. The birth rate issue is even more acute. This year it's predicted that only 13,000 children will be born. That's a historic low. But it turns out there are positives even in poor demographics. At least that's what Latvia's Attorney General believes. Juris Stukins stated at a Seimas Commission meeting that fewer births mean a lower percentage of crime. Economist and statistician Jongas Hermanis even rejoiced that the declining birth rate will help the country save budget money for other needs. Things aren't better in Estonia. The natural population growth there has fallen to its lowest level in a century. In 2023, just under 11,000 children were born, and this year even fewer than 10,000 are expected. Elon Musk's warning wasn't for nothing.
I think one of the biggest risks to civilization is the low birth rate, which continues to decline. I strongly disagree with many intelligent people who think the world is overpopulated and claim that the population is out of control. The situation is quite the opposite. If people don't have more children, civilization will collapse. Mark my words.
And here we must salute the Estonian genius. To prevent collapse, former Finance Minister Palts proposed a kind of tax for childless men over 25. He even calculated a 15% salary deduction, which he considers a lenient rate. The ex-minister suggests using the funds from this tax for family benefits. Well, at least it's not going to Ukraine. Poland, by the way, is also facing a demographic crisis. In the last 12 years, the population has decreased by 764,000, and at the start of this year it was 36.6 million, almost 133,000 less than the previous year. According to surveys, only 17% of women aged 18 to 45 plan to have children in the coming years. And 68% say they either don't plan to have children or are unsure. And here the Ukrainian conflict comes in handy. You might wonder, what's Kiev got to do with it? Well, Western countries are happy to accept Ukrainian children as refugees, helping Europe fill its demographic gap.
For Europe, Ukrainian children have become a demographic gift because they integrate quickly. They don't form isolated communities or ghettos. They quickly blend into the general social environment. So practically, a Ukrainian child now 10 years old and studying in Germany will be indistinguishable from a German in 10 or 15 years, in terms of sociocultural characteristics, skills, and integration abilities. Europe will provide maximum support in this regard. It's a huge demographic boost for them because their birth rate is significantly below the death rate, and nations are gradually dying out and aging.
Against this backdrop, our country stands out significantly. Of course, we have our problems, no one hides that. But the Belarusian model of family support and birth rate stimulation is proving effective. In Belarus, they understand that children are everything. Without them, there's no future or present. A strong argument for large families is the Family Capital Program and other important social support measures.
When we introduced the family capital practice, we had about 63,000 large families, I think. Now it's 123,000. Judge for yourself. We're addressing a crucial issue. There's no more important issue than increasing our population. We have problems with this. I often say, well, 15 or even 20 million, our Belarus with our workforce and resources could support, considering our geopolitical position. So we urgently need to reverse this birth rate trend. I'm asking for 3 children, saying the third is a must for me. Even 2 would be a blessing. For large families, 3 or more, we must do everything.
And indeed it's being done. For everyone, healthcare, housing, infrastructure, schools, kindergartens, all of this keeps pace with the times and meets society's needs. In such conditions, having children isn't scary, as every family has strong support from the state. But maybe things are better for the Anglo-Saxons in Britain. Yes, but no, it's the same there. Birth rates are at their lowest in recorded history. And as one of Bulgakov's characters might say, the housing issue has spoiled them. Women build careers to afford housing and a decent level of care for their future children. But the bright future keeps getting further away, and there are still no children.
Last year, 591,000 children were born in England and Wales. This is the lowest figure since records began, the lowest ever recorded. The birth rate is 1 in 44. This means that for every 100 people in Britain today, there are 52 grandchildren and only 37 great-grandchildren. Thus, in 100 years, 63% of the population will be gone.
However, the British need not worry about their population anymore. In 2023, the name Muhammad became the most popular for baby boys in England and Wales. And if you consider different spellings of the Muslim name, it's been leading for over a decade. The number of migrants from Islamic countries grows every year. These are young people who eagerly start families and have many children. Meanwhile, the natives, not just the British, have chosen a different path: self-elimination. Of course, they're starting to realize the threat posed by newcomers, but that's another story.